GirlBoss show. I'm your host Alexia, and we're going to be talking about business life and everything beyond, and we've got a really exciting theme for you today, which is about living life on your terms, and I've got the most amazing crew. Thank you all for being here today. So we've got, first of all, we've got Michelle Nicholson, who is an incredible woman who is a very incredible woman who is a people leader, leadership coach, personal values extraordinaire. She manages over 70 staff at Goodman Fielder, and she is a student mentor with the Graham Dingle Foundation. She's an active contributor in animal welfare, and all-round awesome human. And we've also got our wonderful younger girl boss here, which is Zainab, and she attends at Avondale College, and she was also a Girl Boss Advantage program graduate, as well as the incredible Winnie, who also attends Avondale College, and together they co-founded a Women in STEM club at their school. So it's so exciting. We've got a Girl Boss Advantage program reunion here right now, and I'm so excited for us to kick it off. So the first question I'd like for us to dive into is, what is our boss moment? A time where we've done something brave or bold recently. Winnie, do you have one to kick us off?
Well, recently, a couple of years ago, I entered a bridge building competition, and me and my friends and girls, we were like a group. We were like, let's have some fun. But when we entered, we saw how many guys there was, and we competed against so many people. It was nerve-wracking. When we started, we're like, I was a designer and I helped construct it. We were like, oh, let's just do this just to show off our skills. But however, we got a bit competitive and we dived right in, and basically at the end we came third place, and we were just rocking our certificates that we got.
It. That's awesome. So you didn't let your fear hold you back and just dove straight into it.
Basically,
that is a perfect boss moment.
Yep.
Michelle.
Girls rule.
Girls rule. I love that.
Absolutely. Well, my boss moment was really coming up with the values workshop, because a lot of companies have their own values, which is great for the company, but it doesn't necessarily mean it aligns with your personality. So you can bring lots of your own self into your business, and I just wanted to bring that out and really get people to think about who they are. Yeah. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It's great for teams and just to learn a bit more about yourself. So that was my moment.
Absolutely.
Coming up to the program or assisting with the program.
We love that. Thank you, Michelle.
So my boss moment was basically a part of the Girl Boss Advantage program, where we did a Dragon's Den competition. And that competition actually enabled me to step out of my comfort zone, like speaking to so many people of such importance, and actually relaying my own ideas. And the fact that I went up there confident without stuttering or messing up my words was such a big deal for me, because I'm a shy person and speaking is one of my greatest fears. And the fact that I overcame that and presented well was actually one of the biggest moments and my biggest boss moment to date.
We love that. That's amazing. And I know that Dragon's Den was a real moment for a lot of people in the program, where you had 24 hours to come up with a full plan and present it to senior leaders at Fletcher Building. And they were just blown away. And every single person went up there. What I loved is that all 28 girls on the program did speak and present, because we didn't even make that compulsory that you had to speak, but everyone just went up there and said their piece, which is awesome.
It felt like yesterday.
Yeah, I know, I miss it all so much, but it's awesome that we get to reconnect over this.
And I love being able to watch it. It was amazing because you guys had such brilliant ideas. And I think, it's the younger people with the really fresh ideas. You're not stale. You're not scared to like throw something new out. It was really exciting. I want some of those products.
And the fact that there were no boundaries, basically, like, actually enabled us to, like, think outside the box. We weren't really restricted by any materials or, like, a budget. So I think that was one of the reasons why it was so successful in a way.
Yeah.
And, like, because it enabled us to, like, think outside of the norm, like, think outside of what we usually would perceive a bathroom or a kitchen to, like, be like.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think what's a really important piece of the GirlBoss Advantage program and everything we do is really around that legacy. So we believe that the best way in which you can be a leader is by going out there and helping your community. Yeah. And I'm so stoked because after coming through the program, you two really put that into place. So you founded a Girls in STEM club at your school just recently, and I'm really excited. Can you share a little bit with me about the vision and why you started that club?
So firstly, after graduating from the GirlBoss Advantage program, I kind of realized the importance and the need for having a network of girls that you're constantly surrounded by, which often have the same values, the same career paths, basically. They're all STEM oriented. And that was something I was lacking on a day-to-day basis. And I was like, we don't have it at Avondale College, but why not make one? Yeah. It's kind of like, there's this quote where necessity is the mother of invention. So I think I put that into play. And I emailed around a few teachers. I emailed Alexia as well. And yeah, so firstly I emailed a teacher who I was quite close with, and she was like, you have to talk to the DP who was in charge of clubs. And I was like, am I serious? Am I actually going to do this? Because I think talking to a teacher is one thing, but going up and like talking to one of the high-ups at school is like a whole new level of like stress and fear. And so I approached him and he was like, it's a fantastic idea. And like when you have that positive, reinforcement, it feels like, yes, I can do it. There's like no barriers, nothing stopping me and Winnie from achieving our goals. Yeah.
When you told me about the idea, I was like, wait, what? This is happening? And at first I was like this is a lot like to process, and I was like, what are we gonna do? And I was already like coming up with ideas about our club. And when we went to talk to Dr. Brown about it, basically he said that's a fantastic idea, and we got straight into it basically from that point.
Yeah, we had like a lot of support. I went around asking my friends, all the girls in my physics class, asking them, do you think this is something that we need? Like, and they were like super like pumped. And we also got Winnie's physics teacher, who's also my little brother's physics teacher, to actually be the teacher in charge, because we needed a teacher in charge. And she was super pumped. And yeah, I think it all started from there. And I suppose I owe it all to the GirlBoss Advantage program, because like without that program, I wouldn't have realized the need to actually have a network of like-minded girls. And
and be able to support each other. That's what I found when I went into the GirlBoss Advantage program. It really encouraged me to take STEM subjects and go into the industry, and I realized there are so many like-minded girls out there, and I'm not the only one, which gave me so much confidence, and also built my confidence from the Fletcher Challenge. And I was like, hell yeah, like we can do this, basically. And we want to encourage other girls to do the exact same thing and give and provide so many opportunities for them, which that didn't happen as much.
Yeah, for yourselves. And, it's really amazing hearing your stories, because why I started GirlBoss New Zealand when I was 16, and I was spurred to start that because I didn't feel that sense of community at my co-ed high school. I was the only girl in year 12 studying IT, later the only girl studying advanced physics. And so I really saw that lack of a space and a network and a community where ambitious young women who are passionate about STEM and leadership and business can come together. So to hear that you have not only found that community with the GirlBoss Advantage program, but now want to provide that community to others is really incredible, and I'm so excited.
Yeah, and the thing is, we've been experiencing the exact same thing, and I feel like it's like a whole cycle. The fact that in my physics class, there's only 5 out of 13 girls in there, and it's really shocking, and that's like harsh reality, and we want to basically convince more people and provide support for them to join into physics and basically STEM subjects, and we want to just have a whole network of supporting girls.
Fantastic. And what sort of activities are you going to do?
So we're thinking of getting WIN, like as in Women in Engineering, from the University of Auckland in to talk to us. And we're coming up with these mini competitions because Winnie did the bridge building competition, but that was only open to like year 9s and year 10s.
Right.
So it wasn't really available to the whole of the school, whole of the girls. So I think we're trying to like come up with like mini version of it.
Cool.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
That would be really cool, and especially to inspire people all across their journey if they haven't chosen their subjects yet to consider that. That's fantastic. Very cool. And what would success look like for you with your club?
I feel like just having more girls being able to feel comfortable and safe in the environment they're in and taking on STEM subjects without hesitating. And we just want to allow that, like just provide that to everyone.
It's like at the end of the day, you want girls to come to you and say thank you for opening up these doors, thank you for making us realize our passions. And I think that's something intangible and something at the end of the day which matters the most. It's like it's not about us, it's about them, and like trying to open up these opportunities, these doors that will at the end of the day like make them who they are.
I love that. Fantastic. Very cool. So for people who are not familiar with the theme of the show, it is one girl boss to another. So we've got 2 highly innovative, amazing young girl bosses. We've got the incredible Michelle, who is a more experienced girl boss.
We'll call it that.
and the theme is that we really want you to ask your questions and get some real life advice, mentoring right here on air. So does anyone have any questions for Michelle?
So my values and beliefs are constantly challenged because of the stereotypes that surround me as a young Muslim woman. And so how can you get out of a situation that like challenges you or challenges your beliefs without obviously hurting the other person or getting without like, for example, if you had your best friend asking you to lie, how do you make them understand that no, it's not that's not my value. I don't value dishonesty. I want to be honest, all the while not upsetting them and hurting them?
That is a great question, and it is a really difficult one. When you have a value that is honesty, it can be quite brutal because you don't want to just be going around being 100% like, I'm just going to say that dress looks awful, it's the wrong colour for you. You have to decide what you need to share and what you don't. Like, why is it important for you in that moment to share that information? So if you can look at it as in, okay, I want to share something and I want to be honest because I want to let that person know what I'm actually thinking, but you may actually need to take a minute and think about what you say before you say it. So you don't want to come across like you're rehearsing and preparing, but I think in some situations you do actually want to just take a minute and think about what you're saying and why you want to. And so funny that you say that question, because I've got a book called Changing the Conversation, because I actually have a value that's around honesty as well. So I want to be able to be honest with people without hurting their feelings. So sometimes I just need to take a step back, think about what I'm going to say, maybe even check the book and come out with a nice way of delivering that message. So as a people leader, quite often you have to tell people when they're not performing. But you don't want to wreck their whole week. So you might want to frame it like, okay, so this conversation is important for you because I want people to see you in a way where they're happy to engage with you. And so then you can go into an example of where perhaps they've let themselves down, but they know that the conversation is important for them because you want people to get on with them. So that's the genuineness around that. Yeah, sorry for the long answer, but
that's good.
you know,
Yeah.
honesty is it's a really difficult one.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you have to be honest with yourself as well,
Yeah.
because that's the first step in life. The thing is, without honesty, you can't accomplish anything, and you have to be true to yourself. Because, for example, in a test, right, you can't basically cheat, and if you cheat, there's no way you're going to get in life, and you're not true. And the thing is, accomplishment is such a huge topic, and my personal value, honestly, basically it holds everything. And seeing your accomplishment makes you feel proud, and you realize how much you've done, and you look back at it and you're like, wow, I can't believe this happened. And you're like, yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic because your personal value is accomplishment.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I love that. Very good. Do you have a question as well, Win?
Basically, I want to ask how you deal with being a leader and how is it challenging?
Okay, yes. So as a leader, you really need to know who you are as a person. So once you know who you are, then you really want to find out the people that are around you as well. Because sometimes you can create friction with people when your say your values aren't aligned, or you might think, oh, someone's really over the top on something, but then you realize that's actually because one of their values is to be analytical, and you're like, oh, okay, I get that now. So when you know who you are, you can portray yourself very easily to the people around you, and they understand you, and then you can start learning about other people as well. And the beauty of that is when you do that in teams, you can go, right, that's my analytical girl. I'm going to get her to do all the data stuff. Then I've got another girl on my team. She's all about fun. So I give her all the fun things to do. So then she brings fun into the team. And then we get our data in the team. So you just pull everyone in together. And I love that because everyone's then happy because they're in their vibe. They're in their happy place.
Yeah,
and so as a leader, I like to be transparent. People know who I am.
Yeah, absolutely. And you are stepping into leadership roles, both of you. We're starting this new club, and there's quite a few different people that you have to navigate. Have you used any of your any leadership strategies so far?
Basically, communication is a huge importance. And without communicating or lack of communication,
Things can go wrong.
Yeah.
Really wrong.
I feel like it would lead girls just speaking on behalf into the wrong direction, and with the wrong communication, I feel like we're discouraging them and not supporting them as well.
Absolutely. Fantastic.
On the note of communication within our group, if we communicate badly with, say, the teacher, the wrong message could be heard. Say if we're planning one activity, but she thinks it's a different activity, and so the whole organization and the planning and all that work gone into planning those activities, the group meetings, will kind of go to waste. So I think every successful group or organization should have strong communication.
Communication is the key.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Any other questions?
On the note of morals and values, do you think it is morally correct to bypass your own values and beliefs to get something of higher value for, say, money or power or a leadership position?
That is a good question because you will come across those kind of situations in the corporate environment where you clearly need to make a decision. But I think at the end of the day, if you really believe in honesty and then someone's asking you to be dishonest, it won't sit very well with you. So you may get the success, but will you enjoy the success?
Yeah.
So you really need to weigh into that and, really find out what you are actually being asked to do.
It's like trying to figure out, is it worth it? Is it worth forgetting all the things that you've learned, you've taught yourself for one opportunity that won't exactly bring you any further in life.
Doesn't sound like a good idea.
You're not selling it.
No, not really. No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Is there any time where anyone here is actually had a situation where they had to actually step up and actually stand by their values? Anyone?
For me, it's my value of freedom is often tested because of the stereotypes that I'm surrounded with. Like Muslim women should be sitting at home. Basically, we should be baby making machines who can cook food.
Ooh.
And by becoming an engineer, I think I'm like sticking with my value, defying those stereotypes. And I think it sheds a light on the cultural aspects as well, because it's not necessarily religion that's restricting me. It's more about those cultural assumptions or stereotypes. And I think everyone should have the freedom to defy their stereotypes or defy the gender roles. And yeah, I think it's quite important to have freedom as a value, because it's your life, your choice.
Yeah.
No one should dictate what you can and can't do based on the stigmas and stereotypes that you are constantly living in.
Basically,
Yeah.
going into freedom, it's very hard when your family opposes what you
Yeah.
do or is a barrier, basically. Because in my family, they wanted me to go into med and not engineering.
Yeah.
They didn't see me as engineering. And they associated engineering with male-dominated jobs and basically laborers. But like nowadays, it's more automatic in technology, which women can basically go into. And the question is, why do parents basically go into wanting their kids to go into female jobs such as artistic or medical careers?
Yeah, absolutely. So it really shifting, both of you have actually shifted those stereotypes and
Yeah.
followed your passion regardless of that feedback that you might
Yeah.
have gotten from different people. What would your message be to someone out there who might be watching, who might have parental pressure that might be experiencing stereotyping at their school? What would your advice be?
For the parents part, I think it was just trying to like make them understand, sit down with them, like allocate a time where you're gonna sit down and like just say everything from your heart, because at the end of the day, they're your parents. They're gonna want to have what's best for you. And say if they want you to go into med but you want to go into engineering, I think they'll understand at the end of the day that you'll be more happy with a career in engineering compared to med. Yeah, they're your parents. They want what's best for you, and they might oppose you at first, but I think after explaining, after making them realize that this is what you want to do, I think it should be fine. Yeah.
And that goes into having freedom as your personal value, because you want to make your own decisions in life, and your subjects for now won't define your jobs in the future also. And basically controlling your own life and choosing your own subjects, what you're passionate about, especially going into engineering. And yeah.
Absolutely. And what about overcoming stereotypes? What would be your advice on that?
Follow your heart, because at the end of the day, the person sitting next to you might not be there in the future, and you'll feel bad in a way that why did I let the person sitting next to me decide what I can and can't do, and they won't be there with you in the future. So say I have a friend which is constantly like, Zainab, you should become a doctor, you should be Dr. Zainab. But I'm like, no, I want a hard hat on my head. I want to be an engineer. And going along the lines, you'll listen to her and I'll become a doctor. But she's not there with me. And so it's basically like following your heart, following your dreams. Don't let the person next to you decide what you can and can't do, because it's your life. They're not going to be there with you all the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Michelle, what's your time when you did the same?
Well, I'm just thinking more on what Zainab was saying, and it's more like self-leadership.
Yeah.
So you can be a leader to people, but you can self-lead, and I think that's when you draw the line and say, this is what I'm passionate about. You might like that. That was in your life. This is my life. I really like the self-leadership. Like, so you're going on your journey, because it is your journey. There are people that will come along with you, but at the end of the day, you're steering the ship. So
Yeah.
you have to be happy. And I would be so grateful as a parent to have a child that said they wanted to be in engineering or medical. I'd be like, winning.
Oh, that's fantastic. I love that. Any other questions, Michelle?
I have a question about why do women in leadership get put down, or why do they feel disregarded? Because basically when I won my award for today's assembly, I got...
Oh, did you get a...
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Oh,
That's
like
fantastic.
5.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Actually, Zainab got it as well.
Oh, another one.
Yay.
We
Fantastic.
both endorsed with
Yeah.
excellence she endorsed with level 1 excellence. I
Cool.
endorsed with
Yeah.
level 2. So we got our badges in
Oh,
assembly.
fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank
That is
you.
great achievement.
I
But
feel
then-
left out.
That's super cool.
But then after the assembly, I felt very embarrassed about my award, and I felt disregarded about what I've achieved. Genuinely because of my peers around me, because I was sitting next to my friend, and she was like, "This is expected." Like, even though we worked twice as hard for it compared to guys, we just felt not like we weren't supposed to celebrate our success. And that's the thing in life, harsh reality. But I just wanted to ask, why do women in leadership feel that they have to be embarrassed, and why don't they want to celebrate their success?
Okay, I think that so for a lot of women, it's about the modesty aspect. Like, you know, you're not all like I just did. Raw. I'm quite a masculine female, obviously, but a lot of females are just quite modest, and so I think other people expect them to keep with that level of modesty,
Yeah.
but you don't have to. If you've worked for something, I say celebrate it. You know, that's inspiring other people. If you're, I mean, you don't want to like rub it in people's faces. You know, there is a way that you can share it, and I think great, inspire people. Be proud of yourself. There's nothing wrong with feeling good about yourself. But I think as women, we tend to like nurture other people rather than ourselves.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just a bit of self-nurturing, and yeah, I think sometimes it's a respect thing with women in leadership, where we tend to be more compassionate and emotional, and so some people just don't want that in the room. You know,
Yeah.
but those things are changing. That's all
Yeah.
changing now. So that's the positive about it. Like,
It's also the fact that how girls and females, when they show off their accomplishment, it's more of being called bragging compared
Yeah.
to guys, and that's what I find very difficult to deal with. And they get applauded and complimented, while girls are just like, oh, like
Yeah.
you just, why are you doing this?
Like if guys and girls get the same award, it'll be like, well, to the guy they'll be like, well done, good job, good on you. For
Yeah.
us,
yeah.
if we say something about an award, it'll be like, you're showing off, you don't have to brag.
Yeah.
I feel like that's just not with boys, but with girls as well. Sometimes some girls don't like it when other girls, you know,
Succeed.
like, I don't know, I'm not putting down my friends or anything, but after I got that excellence thing, no one actually mentioned anything. That I think one of my friends was like, well done, but the others, they kind of like, you know, kind of deleted that memory of me getting that award. It's like, yeah, sometimes it's about like putting yourself out there and actually cheering other people on.
Yes.
Yeah, so I was
Yeah.
going to say that was my next question. So how do you think you can change that? Like, because I've got a few ideas, but I'm interested to hear what your idea is and what your idea is of
Change
changing
that culture in your friend group.
I think it's basically recognizing everyone for anything that they've done, no matter how small it is. Sometimes a lot of us get put down because we're like, we've done this, but she's done so much better. And I think it's about like disregarding other people and like focusing on yourself. It's like, I've done this, good on me. I shouldn't look at the girl next to me and be like, she's done so much better than me. She's gotten so many awards. And I think a lot of the badge system as well, like some people have like rows and rows of badges, and then I'm sitting next to them with my 3 little circles. And sometimes it's like a put down. Sometimes it's like, I can do better. I can push myself. And I think it's more about accepting yourself. Like everyone's different, so they might be good at something that you're not, and you might be good at something that they're not. And it's about acknowledging the difference and acknowledging the fact that sure, you can do better, but don't put yourself in next to the girl sitting next to you. Don't think that you're any less.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's just that. Yeah, I think every girl, every boy should just realize that you are your own person. Don't judge others, and don't judge yourself based on what you see.
Absolutely. Well said.
And we also should basically be proud of what others got and support them and cheer them on instead of just looking down on ourselves and comparing ourselves. That's what the main issue is, especially to guys. They're very
Ego.
the ego is very high, and the fact that they find girls doing better than them and succeeding more, they just put them down because of this, and that's what's happening in society even now. Yeah.
Absolutely, and that's why I make one of the core values of GirlBoss New Zealand being unapologetically ambitious, because I think it's so powerful when women make a conscious decision to step into their achievements and to share their achievements and to celebrate other women. And often, because women can often feel like opportunities are scarce, they feel like they need to compete with other women, and there's only a few seats at the table, and if one woman gets it, then there's not going to be enough for them. But actually, when we get rid of that scarcity mindset and actually say everyone can succeed, a rising tide helps all ships. If we all can work together and we can all celebrate other women, then we're all going to succeed. So I think definitely being unapologetically ambitious, talking openly about your achievements, actually empowers other young women to do the same.
And it's also about like creating the opportunities yourself. Like no one's gonna hand you everything. You've got to get out there and ask. And I think that goes for a lot of those leadership roles as well. A lot of guys might get preference, but it's about going up to your boss and say, I think that I'm good for this job, and like actually just putting yourself out there. Like for the girls in STEM thing, I didn't really see anything around me, but that didn't mean that I could not create this. And I think for me, this opportunity meant that I was able to put myself out there, and I was able to create this opportunity not only for myself but for Winnie and all these other girls who are interested in STEM.
And now
fantastic.
they will celebrate you when you have success, because you will have that network of girls that it is okay to be unapologetically, that was hard to say, ambitious. Ambitious. So that's the good thing. And I think just supporting all the women, like a lot of women, they fight amongst themselves, whereas men, even when they're annoyed with each other, they still bond together, and we need to take on board some more of that attitude and just really bond together and just celebrate everyone's big success and little success. And
and I'm so excited because you've got these poise that fit underneath the table. I don't know why,
around.
And I'm just excited. So can you explain to us
Why they're here? Well, they're not earrings. No, they're not earrings. Okay, so I brought these along because Georgia Latu, she was a Trailblazer Award winner.
At the GirlBoss Awards, yes, she was.
Yes, and
fantastic, 13 years old, started her own Pōtiki Poi, incredible businesswoman.
And so I just had to buy one because I thought these are amazing. They're pink and orange. And, okay, what I love about these, so they are crocheted to, that's the European element of the partnership poi. And then the actual poi is the Maori side. So it's joining the two cultures together.
Oh, cool.
So one of George's values, I'm assuming, is all about tradition. So she wants to keep tradition alive. So I've checked out her website. And so what she did was started a business at the age of 12 or maybe even 11.
Yeah.
And I'm just amazed. And I think it's a beautiful product. And that's just a young girl that is living her values and making some money out of it. Why not?
I love that.
The fact that she's only 12 and she can accomplish so much, that inspires other many young women to go out there and just have the creativity and confidence to do something just like her.
Yeah, and just putting yourself out there. Don't be afraid to showcase your talents or your ideas, because
we want to know about them, don't we?
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what's awesome. I mean, when we heard that story and heard George's story, we don't feel disempowered, we actually feel more empowered. And so it's
Yeah.
great that Georgia, she's not only created this, but she's also stepping up. She was on the project not too long ago, and she does a lot of media, because there's power in stepping out and sharing your story, because it can inspire other young women. And sometimes when we feel uncomfortable talking about our achievements, if we realise that the power that can have on other people to be inspired, that can empower us to actually step out there and out of our comfort zone, share those achievements.
Yeah, and basically take opportunities when they're given out there, or make your own opportunities, just like our GirlBoss or our STEM group.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Michelle, do you have any advice for these two young women as with their Girls in STEM group?
Yes, I do actually. I would just encourage you to keep being conscious. So that's what we talked about in the workshop, which is when you know who you are and you know that you're actually living who you are. So just, keep being conscious and encourage the girls around you to kind of discover who they are as well. Yeah. And you're going to get a really powerful network of young girls behind you. Yeah, because we're all so different, and you've got different abilities and different skill levels, and so you can join and just become even bigger and better and stronger, and just break the ceiling.
Yeah, I love that.
Smash it out.
I love that
my advice would be, really don't be afraid to engage as many people as possible in your vision. So reach out to different people who could speak or get involved or help support the mission that you're doing, and don't be afraid to set some pretty ambitious goals. Challenge yourself to say, hey, why can I put on an event to get people from outside my school to attend, and can I collaborate with other girls in STEM clubs out there at other schools? So really think about how you can take what you're doing, collaborate with more people, get more people involved, and then actually take it to the next level. I'm excited. I don't see why you couldn't, do more and get significant reach. It's awesome.
Thank you for that amazing advice. We would do that.
Yeah, cool. I'm so excited to see. I mean, so you just started it how long ago?
So this week is going to be our mega planning session.
Cool. Awesome.
And next Wednesday, I think the 11th, is our first ever meeting.
And we're actually going to take the opportunity and basically advertise it at our school.
Assembly,
Yeah, so we're going to go
more
in
than
assembly.
2,800 students.
Oh, you're going to share the story?
We're going
2,800.
to
Cool.
go in assembly, rock that, and tell everyone, all the girls, basically, to join in the club and feel free. Don't let the opportunity slide, but also create other clubs within that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's so cool. I hope you inspire more other young women to not only get involved, but also to realise that if they see a problem in their school, they can be the one to step up and solve it. Super cool. No point waiting around for someone else to solve a problem. If you see it, you're never too young to be that change. Absolutely. Do we have any last questions for Michelle?
So again, with the values, what are the core values that every woman in a leadership role should have?
Well, that's a really hard one, because there's so many values that you can choose, and they're all so amazing. And that's why I always get people just to like really drill it down to 4, so that you can really focus on the big things that make you really happy. But I think one of them that they should have is honesty. I think that is kind of where it all starts. So if you're not going to be if you're not going to be an honest leader, then you're going to steer everyone on this really awful path. So I'd definitely say that. But I'd say that there's just so many to choose from that it is really difficult to put everyone into that same box.
I'd say another important value is around the importance of being hopeful and being optimistic and being visionary, particularly as a leader. So when you're going through hard times, people can turn to you and you can be that source of hope and inspiration and source of motivation. And when I walk into a boardroom and I walk into a meeting, who is that person that holds the most power? It's generally the one with the most hope and the one with the most vision and the one that actually is willing to set an audacious goal and encourage other people to join them on that vision.
Yeah, I agree. That's very inspiring, because you don't want to have a leader that's all doom and gloom, because they should look to you for inspiration. So there's a difference between a leader and a manager. So a manager will assign jobs to you, and they may be really good at that, but if they can't inspire you, it's not so good. So I love that one. I'm going to add honesty and hopeful in there.
Yeah.
I'd like to be a more thoughtful leader. So I'd like to add another value in that maybe might not be one of my 4, but one that I could like bring in every now and then, because I think, have you got a really thoughtful friend, one that writes birthday cards and always remembers things and they make people feel really good? Yeah, I need to be more of that.
That's super awesome. Okay, team. Well, we are sadly nearing the end of our show.
Really?
But I know, it's so sad. It flows so fast. But before we wrap up, I really want us to share a little bit more about our intentions and our goals going forward over the next week. So let's think, what's one word that really sums up how we're going to tackle the next few weeks, the next few months? So I'll get started while you're thinking of your word. So for me, what's really important, we're going through a really exciting time. We're doing a GirlBoss Advantage program in Christchurch next month, which is super cool. And so for me, just staying highly focused is going to be the priority, because it is always crunch time in the lead up to a GirlBoss Advantage program and International Women's Day next week, which is also a very busy time at GirlBoss New Zealand.
Oh,
as
we're
it is.
starting our first club meeting.
Yeah, during International Women's Day
boom.
week.
Good
So
timing.
Coincidental.
yeah, that's awesome. So it's on the 8th, so that's awesome. And so, I think definitely just staying focused, really pumping out some power moves, and really being centered in my vision is going to be really important for me. Who else would like to share?
Mine would be leadership, again, because of going into next week, talking in front of more than 2,800 students about our club, and also trying to lead the first meeting with obviously optimism, hopefulness, as well as like trying to bring an understanding of our goals and what we hope for those girls. And hopefully they understand our perspectives, the reason for us doing what we're doing, and hopefully they consider a career in STEM.
Absolutely, I'm sure they will.
Yeah, get more girls.
My one would be confidence, building everyone up, and as well as others supporting each other and cheering everyone on for them to love and be passionate about it, and without disappointing everyone else. And communication is the key importance, like I said before. It will bring people into the correct path and direct them. And without communication, the club especially will probably not be as good.
Yeah, absolutely. So being a strong communicator and having that vision. Awesome. I'm sure you will be an incredible communicator.
Thank you.
And me.
Yes.
Ooh. Okay, so I'm going to go for the creativity. I want to get really creative in the next few weeks, and I actually would like to teach people how to be better leaders. So
Cool.
I love the way that you're talking about leadership. So I want to move people away from managing their people, moving the minions into like inspiring them. I shouldn't call them minions. I resonated with the leadership, so I need to get creative and just get that going.
Awesome. With 4 awesome women together here today. We've got talked about values, talked about our perspectives, talked about overcoming stereotypes and other people's idea of how you should live your life. And I really think I'm so grateful to all of you for coming on the show today, and I'm sure it's going to be so valuable for everyone watching at home. So big thank you for everyone who watched. Feel free to put any questions or comments down below and let me know what other themes or topics or speakers we should have on the show next. Thank you all for watching. This is The GirlBoss Show.